the front that they put on, and then resort to finger violence after you get in your car. He's got his car. We'll see more parking lot extravaganza. See you on the next one.
Calm and proceed. 你看
Войти где? Вышка, 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 вышку, бой,
Then an update coming in now.
бой, бой, Predator.
So we have a letter that Central Command gave to the US troops before the first strikes, saying, I'll just read this for you guys. To America's extraordinary sons and daughters deployed around the Middle East. By order of the President of the United States, we are embarking on a mission of profound consequence. The time for preparation is over. The time for action has arrived. As we move from deterrence into active combat, I write to you to tell you how honored I am to serve with you. The most exceptional soldiers, sailors, marines, airmen, guardians, and coast guardsmen on this earth. Some of you are stationed in the Middle East. Many of you have deployed overseas on short notice. Others have been extended on deployment for this critical mission. You represent the strongest, most lethal warfighting force the world has ever known. You all selflessly serve our great country and make us so very proud. Since 1979, the Iranian regime has killed and wounded thousands of Americans, and they continue to threaten Americans and our friends. Today, by your courage and grit, you will change the course of human history. My guidance to you is simple. Be relentlessly lethal. Take care of your teammates. Steady your resolve. You are the shield of the free world, and today you are its sharpest sword. As the eyes of the world fix upon us, stay safe and Godspeed. This was the letter to the American troops. Now, let's quickly go to Qatar because things are kicking off in Doha, just outside Doha, the capital. The interceptors are obviously trying to block the missiles being launched from the Islamic Republic. There is a problem here. There's a major crisis right now for both Qatar and the UAE, and we're going to talk about that in the next few minutes because they are running out of air defense supply within days. If there's no extra support from allies, including the United Kingdom, it will be very, very difficult. The Israeli Defense Forces, as I said, they have now confirmed the latest hits. Let's quickly go to the IDF's Persian spokesperson with English subtitles.
ملت بزرگ و عزیز ایران، ارتش اسرائیل مجتمع صدا و سیمای جمهوری اسلامی قلب تپنده ماشین دروغ و سرکوب سپاه پاسداران را مورد هدف قرار داد. سالهاست که صدا و سیما مخالفان رژیم را به نماد اغتشاشات و نیروهای سرکوب را قهرمانان وطن جلوه داده است. این نهاد به پایان راه خود رسیده است و همراه با آن توهمی که رژیم تلاش داشت به شما و به جهانیان بفروشد فرو می‌ریزد. صدا و سیما به عنوان بخشی جدایی ناپذیر از یک سامانه گسترده سرکوب در ایران عمل می‌کند. جایی که رسانه دولتی ابزاری برای مشروعیت به استفاده از زور و ایجاد هراس در میان مردم بوده است. این مرکز سالهاست که با برنامه‌های تدوین شده تحت پوشش حفظ ثبات رژیم به برچسب زنی علیه معترضین پرداخته است.
Yeah, so that was the statement from the Israeli Defense Forces. The IRGC obviously are fighting dirty, and it's not really a surprise. I don't know why people are complaining about this. They are using cluster warheads when it comes to the missiles, and this is one of the evidence that we have. There's a lot of videos that you've also seen. Of course, the United Nations are saying they're investigating this, but nobody really cares about the UN and what those globalist weirdos talk about. The IRGC in the capital have lost control because the government sites, the infrastructure have been brought down, and more to be brought down in still a lot of bases around. So what they have is that the IRGC's Basij unit, the militants on the ground with their bikes and everything else, they have now obviously created more checkpoints, and they are checking everybody's cars, everybody's phones, basically trying to prevent the fresh wave of uprising, because they know that the final stage is going to be the Iranian people coming on the streets with the help of the military to counter the IRGC. Let's go to this video of the checkpoints, because what they're doing is they're not firing shots in the air to intimidate the people.
Most of the time, you know just how to take care of your dog. But when they're suffering from an itchy skin condition and finding relief with at-home remedies seems impossible. See Your Vet for proven solutions that provide a source of comfort.
Now, in terms of the Saudi side, there is a bit of a development. Saudi Arabia have now deployed the so-called Peninsula Shield Forces, used to be called that, to have now entered Bahrain to fight against the IRGC militias that are causing absolute mayhem across the country. Let's just quickly have a look at the forces from Saudi. So this is what they have now sent. They have now entered through the border, and things are still kicking off, by the way, on the ground in Bahrain. The IRGC are causing so much chaos over there, but these guys should be able to take control of that, because there's a lot of troops going from Saudi, and everybody is now basically active in the region. There's also, obviously, a few minutes ago, we showed you guys the live feed from Beirut, but just before we came live, massive strikes on the headquarters of Hezbollah in Beirut, but also the so-called propaganda media base of Hezbollah. That's also been destroyed. It's interesting because tonight, we had both the broadcasting headquarters for both the IRGC and Hezbollah getting hit, which is going to make things slightly difficult for them to recover. Let's quickly go to the moment we had the latest round of attacks in Beirut by the Israeli Air Force. Some reaction in the chat. Lucy, why do you think the Strait of Hormuz hasn't been taken under control yet? Also, a huge shout out by Jack Hibbs. Did you watch him? Yes, I did see his live stream. Thank you, guys. We don't know exactly much about what's going on around the Strait of Hormuz. The Americans have been destroying their naval capabilities, so I'm assuming the next couple of days there should be more control. But they're also worried about mines in the sea. But we will get an update from the U.S. military tomorrow afternoon. But the Iranian freedom fighters are also preparing to take back control of their country. They are motivating each other by sending videos, both those who have defected and those who have been fighting for years and years. Let's go to this video with subtitles.
نامه جاویدنامان راه آزادی راه شما ادامه دارد انتقام خون تک تک شما را خواهیم گرفت ما جوانان ایران برای آزادی ایران و انتقام جاویدنامان تا آخرین قطره خون آماده‌ایم به جواب امروز نیروهای ایران
Long live the king. One of the things that we are expecting from the updates from the military, U.S. military tomorrow about Strait of Hormuz is the fact that they've already kind of said that from tomorrow, the next phase is going to be. But until now, they've been focusing on the defense systems of the IR. Then they're going to hit the drones and the actual missiles and everything else. Once they do that, they should be able to get closer to Strait of Hormuz. Right now, if you go to the Strait of Hormuz, right next to Iran, there's going to be a lot of drones being launched at you. So it's going to be very difficult. You can't really send, for example, USS Abraham Lincoln right there close to Strait of Hormuz because it will get hit. So they have to take it step by step. Also, the Chinese Communist Party, for the past few weeks, probably a couple of months, they've been trying their best to help the Islamic Republic with all these radar systems and the air defense and everything else. I don't know what they've been doing with them because everything has been falling apart. So I think they've been sending Timu air defense systems to Iran because everything is getting hit left, right, and center. As you guys know, a number of American troops, servicemen and women have been killed since the war started. A lot of people assumed for some reason that, they were killed during the operation against the Islamic Republic in Iran. They got hit, for example, the jets or whatever. That has not been true. The fact is, we now have the confirmation from the Central Command that all 6 U.S. troops who were killed so far in the Middle East were stationed in Kuwait. Everything goes back to Kuwait. The last couple of days have been shambolic in Kuwait. They died while they were in a temporary operation center, which is in a civilian port, by the way. So this was not the main base. And they were hit directly by the Islamic Republic missiles because the Kuwaiti air defense system was not working properly. And but obviously, there is now more infrastructure for defense in Kuwait with the help of the Americans. There were no warning siren sounded, which is not good. And the fires were burning for hours anyway. And there was a delayed deployment to send support. Unfortunately, Kuwait has been slightly shambolic, and it hasn't been easy for the Americans who have been stationed there. One thing that we reported earlier, and we can also now confirm because both the governments in Qatar and UAE have reported this to also the global media, including Bloomberg and others, and Reuters. The UAE have said that they expect to run out of air defense supply within a week. Qatar are projecting that they will run out in 4 days' time. Now, obviously, this is to create urgency for the allies, including the United States, the United Kingdom, to send more reinforcements, but it doesn't sound good. Whether they are exaggerating it or whether they're actually being factual, this is a statement from the governments in both Qatar and UAE. And don't forget, Qatar and UAE are so small, they are smaller than Gaza. They are tiny, tiny. And if you run out of defense capabilities and supplies, then you're going to be in huge trouble. Even though one might say, well, the Islamic Republic will eventually run out of missiles, but they can easily hit a lot more. You had a chunk of the people from the Qatari government freaking out earlier, saying, no, 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 this isn't true. We actually still have a lot of supplies. And then you had the top of government saying, uh, ignore the briefings. Basically, there's a bigger problem in Qatar, which is briefing the media. Half the government are asking for support, saying we're running out of supplies. The other half are going to Al Jazeera saying, no, no, we don't, what they're talking about, we have so much supply, we have a lot of defense, air defense systems, we don't need anybody's help. At least UAE are being honest about it. And UAE said that the way Bloomberg reported it and also Reuters, they were not accurate in terms of wording. Well, fair enough, because what they said was that UAE are claiming within a week they're going to be struggling. Fine. Struggle. I don't really care. But they need to be honest about what is actually happening in their country. Qataris need to be slightly more united in their governments. The UAE are correct in their statements that obviously they do need help, but they will struggle, but they're probably not going to run out. But Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, also made a quick statement earlier on, directly speaking to the American citizens in the Middle East about their safety. Let's go to Mark.
At the Department of State, our number one priority is the safety and the security of American citizens everywhere in the world. Now, with what's going on in the Middle East with Operation Epic Fury and the cowardly attacks that we're seeing from Iran against Gulf countries, I wanted to take this chance to speak directly to Americans who are in the Middle East about the work we are doing to try to keep you safe. So immediately following the beginning of this operation, at my direction, the State Department activated a 24/7 task force, surging personnel and resources necessary to help provide American citizens with up-to-the-minute safety and security information. Now, in order to receive these updates from the nearest U.S. embassy or consulate, you have to register with the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. You have to register with STEP. And here's where you do it. You go to step.state.gov. That's step.state.gov and register so we can reach you. We also encourage Americans abroad to follow our security updates for U.S. citizens channel on WhatsApp and follow @TravelGov on social media as well. The latest alerts are also available on travel.state.gov. That's our website, travel.state.gov. Finally, Americans in the Middle East, you can reach the Department of State 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at the following phone number: 1-202-501-4444. That's 1-202-501-4444.
We have a retard in the live chat shouting letters down here. Tusi, you're not talking about the 6 fighter pilots that ejected, are you? Yes, we already reported that. We also showed you one of the videos of one of the female pilots that survived in Kuwait. And the Kuwaiti man went up and up to us like, don't worry, I'm friendly. Thank you for your help against IRGs. That was actually quite good. And now, the Greeks are also getting involved. They sort of have to. They have no other option because of everything that's been going on in Cyprus. The Greeks have now deployed 4 of the F-16s in Cyprus to defend the island against the drones that are coming in from especially Hezbollah, IRGC wing of Hezbollah in Lebanon. And things have been slightly tough, obviously, in Cyprus. The RAF bases have been targeted. But the Greeks are there now. The fascinating thing is that this is basically like the olden days, the Greeks versus the Persian Empire, but it's not really the Persian Empire because Iran has been occupied since 1979. All right, so quick thing. Let's go to, I think in Doha there were some issues. Need to double check. Not Doha, Beirut, not a clue. But we're going to quickly go to Tel Aviv, our live feed from there. There's a couple of things that we need to also report. This is loud. There we go. Better. Okay. Firstly, the Israeli Air Force have now launched additional strikes in Tehran. Over the last couple of hours, the infrastructure of the regime, as we said, including the so-called intelligence directorate guidance, um, but their headquarters for the communications has been destroyed. They also managed to dismantle multiple police stations and also the IRGC Basij headquarters, as well as the media propaganda building. Now, the IDF are saying that tomorrow we're going to have fresh rounds of new type of strikes. That probably means different types of targets, but I think we should expect more government sites, not necessarily military, but government sites to be dismantled. The United States have also said that we should expect an uptick in attacks within 24 hours. It's probably going to start late afternoon tomorrow. The initial wave was focusing on the defense system of the Islamic Republic. The next phase is going to be focusing on the missile production, drones, naval forces. I'm fascinated by what they mean by naval forces because today the president said that the Navy has been destroyed anyway. So they've basically been sinking all the ships. I'm assuming they're going to be focusing on the bases, naval bases, and obviously by the ports in general. And now Tomahawks will be used. We don't know exactly what they will be using them for. Ruhollah Khomeini in the south of Tehran. That needs to go. We don't need that. And the Mehrabad airport in the west of Tehran has also been hit to paralyze the Islamic Republic Air Force. Now, let's go to Saudi Arabia because in the last hour, we've had many issues with the IRGC targeting Saudi. They've been firing at the United States Embassy in Riyadh. There was a massive blast. Let's just quickly show you the video from Saudi. Drone attack, by the way, not missiles. Suicide drone. It's the aftermath. You can see a bit of smoke at behind the trees. There have been more drones that have been launched the last few minutes towards Saudi Arabia. There is a statement that is coming in from Riyadh. We're going to go to that. I think there's a video from Riyadh again. Let's go. There we go. That's the moment of blast. Now, just quickly, there is some intel about what happened 2 days ago when the conflict started. Was it? Now we can say 3 days ago, basically, because it's Tuesday. Essentially, Israel hacked the traffic cameras in Tehran. They've been hacking it for years, and nobody knew apparently about this. And they've been feeding the footage into an advanced intelligence analysis to monitor the routines and movements, work locations, and protection details of senior IRGC officials and also Khamenei's bodyguards. Their surveillance helped them mapped patterns of life and provided critical targeting information that obviously combined with the other signals and the assets on the ground to be able to know exactly when and how they should target Khomeini and the top of the regime. Considering that Mossad has had a huge number of operatives as well as Iranian assets helping them anyway, using technology made things a lot easier, but they just had to ensure that they take their time to prepare. But they've been doing this for years. They've been waiting for this moment for years. Everything has already been pre-planned. The rest of the everything you saw over the last few weeks, few months, it was just theatre to prepare the legitimacy of the war, which President Trump really helped with their fake negotiations over nuclear. I love how the whole of the international community fell for that. Negotiations. Oh, yeah, let's talk about this. And now, earlier today, we exposed one of the crisis actors of the IRGC because we've been talking a lot about Hollywood and Gazawood with all these fake people, fake victims. We also have fake victims in Iran today. I showed you one of them, the woman who was sitting on the floor saying, "Oh no, my house is destroyed. I can't find my mom, and there's no military base here. What are they hitting? Residential areas?" And then we discovered she's been basically she's been acting. We showed you the evidence. There's another one. It's interesting because we saw her. I'm going to show you. We saw her a few weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago, during the 47th anniversary of the Islamic Republic. And what they did was they used a couple of prostitutes and also drug dealers. Basically, they're quite famous in Tehran. And they got them to basically not cover their hairs for camera. They also brought Bushra Sheikh from the UK, the Pakistani weirdo. They paid her to go to Tehran, not cover her hair in Tehran during the anniversary, right? But the ordinary IRGC supporters were walking around like disgust, looking at these women and not covering their hair, but it was planned. We saw one of them, one of the prostitutes. She's now been used as an ordinary Iranian victim because in the video about the she's also not covering her hair. That's supposed to be symbolically. If you're not covering your hair, that means you're against the regime. You're a normal person, right? This is apparently an ordinary victim from today. Watch this. That's at the bottom. That's at the top. Standing there. The picture from the top bit, that's from a few weeks ago during the anniversary of the Islamic Republic. And look at the old woman staring at her, disgust, like, you whore. And they brought her out again, conveniently, perfectly footage. All right, now, obviously, we will continue to expose this because you're not going to get this level of content from the mainstream. Targeting civilian areas. Fortunately, they are being intercepted, but the shrapnel and everything else, actually, well, the missiles, the shrapnel, they're hitting, and some of the drones did hit. Let's go. That's one. There we go. You can see it. Now, fortunately, with this one, no casualties reported. So that's good news. A lot of people obviously are outside and in hiding places because they have to stay safe. But the defense in UAE are still very communicative with the people. They're literally giving them guidance all the time. So God bless the Emiratis. Now, let's quickly go back to Saudi Arabia. The problems with the US embassy has been escalating. This is what we now have. They have now issued a shelter in place warning for all Americans in also Jeddah as well as Riyadh and other places to go and stay safe. They say that the embassy compound right there in Riyadh was obviously struck. 2 Iranian drones in the last hour. After this statement, the third drone was also launched, and I think it has been intercepted. We don't have the confirmation yet, but I believe it's probably intercepted. Uh, Saudi Arabia are not too happy. They did warn the Islamic Republic yesterday, don't attack us. Don't do it again. We're going to get involved. And of course, now they've said they want to get involved. And anyway, let's focus on some of the reactions quickly. More updates coming in. Arabian boots in Iran. I would be very. Wait, which Arab? There are no Arabs in. Well, there are Iranian Arabs, but none of the Arab countries are going into Iran. Thank you to see the state of Maryland supports you and your great station. Thank you so much, David. England, I have watched you go downhill for 76 years at this point. We, America, kicked your ass twice. We saved your ass twice. We, the American people, do not need you now. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is a direct message to Keir Starmer, our stupid prime minister. Tusi, your hair is awesome. I know. Do you know what's going on at Evin Prison? We're not getting updates from there. Unfortunately, there's a complete internet blackout, so we're only getting some updates from our sources with the Starlink devices, but it's difficult to find out what's going on over there. We'll find out tomorrow afternoon what's happened in the north of Tehran. There's been huge attacks in the north of Tehran. Amir says, Lucy, I think next week Israel might send in special forces into certain parts of Iran to help the protesters, but also Mag, another IRGC commanders. But yeah, target and IRGC commanders. What do you think? I think, to be fair, at this point, it's more likely that the Israelis would send boots on the ground before the Americans. The Americans might do that at the end because to basically control the situation. But it might be needed to take out the last remaining senior members. Unless they basically surrender or run away or whatever they want to do. Parliament was ordered to stay there. Were they still there during the bombing? Yeah, I did say earlier. I'm assuming they probably left. That order was 3 days ago. They're not that stupid. Sisi, what is the status of water in Tehran? Explosions may have busted water mains, water supplies already critical before the attack. Yes, so there have been, we do know there have been power outages throughout the night tonight. Not sure about water yet. I'll find out tomorrow. If it was critical, we would have gotten some information, but there is outages. It comes and goes throughout the week. Dear Maya, super greetings from Malta. Karma has hit the EU hard as Cyprus has the EU presidency. Goodbye to all preparations. John says, would it be unfortunate if the IRGC accidentally blew up the dome of the on the rock with their arrest attempt? Yeah, it will be interesting because if they also hit the Al-Aqsa, then if you just scoop it up and then you get to the temple. So come on, IRGC, hit Al-Aqsa. We may not agree on everything, but I am late to the show, and I am sorry for that. Hopefully, we can agree that it's okay. This is an inside joke. The tens of thousands of new viewers of CCTV will have no idea what this is about. Someone started this trend. We may not agree on everything, but I love your hair, whatever it was. CC should be knighted by the Shah. I think that should say Shah. Shah. No, I don't need to be. As I've said, I'm very humble. I could just do with a big statue in the middle of Tehran. I'll be okay with that. Great program. Would you also talk about Khomeini's grandson? a fatwa about IRGC stay in mosques and then in streets to run a guerrilla fight against the people. Yeah, I mean, they've been talking nonsense all the time. It's not. Most of the rhetoric coming from all these idiots, it should be just ignored because it's like when the Islamic Republic launched the war on America in 1979. Like, yes, they did manage to obviously over the years, over decades, kill a couple of thousand Americans, but they're not very good at things, are they? They've issued 2 fatwas on me. I'm still around. Any word on civilian casualties in Iran? No, unfortunately, we're not really getting anything from the government, so it should be minimized, obviously, because the attacks are targeted, unless you happen to be walking around near a military site. Could the US broadcast TV signals into Iran now? I think soon. I think Israel is going to do something. I think it's going to be the Israelis that will take control of the communication over the next few days. They hacked the TV channels anyway after they brought it down. So that was funny, but it was temporary. And World War III is turning out to be World War everyone.
World War.
IRGC. Yeah, I mean, this could be called the Middle Eastern War. It's not really World War, but it's basically just one enemy versus everybody else. I don't feel sorry for the IRGC. They're literally on their own because China and Russia are not getting involved, not directly. More super chats, and you can buy and use missiles, but you cannot buy brains. Come on, Kuwait, get with the program. Yeah, I'm slightly concerned about the leadership in Kuwait. Are they drunk? You have to watch Tucker's latest. Oh god, that's gonna give me a headache. Is he gonna say the Jews? At least 4 mosques in Sydney holding memorial services for the murderer. We have a couple in the UK. We've got one in Manchester, one in Birmingham. I'm sure there's one in London as well. Disgusting. These Islamic fighters need to stop focusing on Israel and place their focus on those Islamic concentration camps in China. Okay. What crimes did those kids commit? Not be pro Xi Jinping. Right, that is the new sermon each Sunday. You're going to wait another 5 days. Can Iranian civilians obtain firearms easily? Not easily, but soon, yes, because the armed forces are defective.
Most of the time, you know just how to take care of your dog. But when they're suffering from an itchy skin condition, finding an at-home remedy that brings relief can seem impossible. That's where your vet comes in. They're the only one who can diagnose the cause and offer effective relief to bring your itchy dog a source of comfort. See your vet to find a source of...
On X, since 2020, when I called him insane over COVID and lockdown, he's a bit of a sensitive flower. But if he wants to have a debate with me, they can get in touch with me again. The other day I was washing my hair, so how long until the President of the United States puts boots on the ground? Yeah, we'll find out. There's no guarantee yet, but it's likely at some point, unless something else happens. When they surrender to the US, who's going to do it? So many in the IRGC leadership are dead. You mean who's going to surrender? It's probably just the reformists in the government, like the president, the foreign minister. But I don't think they're going to surrender. I think they just want to die. So the Americans need to do them a favor. As the show spoken today, is posted statements. He's been busy, obviously, with meetings and preparations. There's a lot happening behind the scenes because he's getting ready to return to his country. I'm sure we'll hear more from him tomorrow. CCTV Iran has 5,000 missiles, and they haven't even unleashed their drones. They've been using mostly drones than missiles. So, yes, they have unleashed the drones. Persians are built as a submarine. And also, 5,000 is not enough, and they will be running out anyway. And it won't be 5,000. They're lying about the numbers. Even if they have 5,000, you only have a few days left. You see, whenever you say they can't be that stupid, I think yes, they can. I know, but I want to benefit of the doubt. Come on, guys. They've been around for a while. They should be pros by now. This statue you want to build of yourself, how would you like your sculpture as is, or what? I'm not building it myself. The taxpayers will pay for it. Taxpayers in Iran who are currently, well, not really paying taxes. Susie, love your hair. How's your dad? Then knowing the alerts in that area. Yeah, I haven't been able to get in touch with him all night. Well, days at this point. And yeah, it wasn't too far from the explosions. Um, but yeah, he's a smart man. He knows how to stay safe. I haven't been able to get hold of anybody, family members in Iran. Timothy, thank you so much for a big super chat support. Although if you want to support 2C TV, make sure to join 2C TV Plus by going on 2C.tv. Just a quick reminder for those of you who've had issues the last 2-3 days, joining 2C TV Plus.
It's free and easy to sell on eBay. The district judge. It was Bruce's complaint. That's what it was. That's right. He was complaining about something. And Henkel said he thought there was good reason to believe it wasn't good faith. Remember? I just can't remember what exactly it was. It was something.
Yeah, that was a disqualification. He was trying to disqualify Judge Belita back when they were going to have that hearing. Remember?
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I think it's too early to declare that he's off the case. I will not be saying that until I see his an order about that. Yes. Also, Paint Chips' obscene motion was reviewed by Judge Hinkle. That's correct. That is correct. Yeah. So for tonight, what I wanted to do tonight was go back to the Shara's deposition. We have been working our way through it steadily. I know it's a 363-page document. You guys know we can't read anywhere near that amount of pages in one evening. So we've broken it down to, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not sure how many we have so far. If you want to go back, though, and you want to hear us read through the deposition from the beginning, all you have to do is go onto my channel and search the word Shara, and all of those should come up. I think we did 1 or 2 episodes on your channel, but most of them are on mine. So you can also look on that Umbrella Guy's channel under Shara. It should come up there as well.
I think we did them all here.
Did we? Mm-hmm. I feel like we might have done one. Well, maybe not. Maybe we did them all here. I don't know. If you go on my channel, though, and you type in Shara, you'll get a ton of deposition readings. We left off on page 232, and that's where we're going to pick up. But before we get there, before we do that, Tug's got something new that he wanted to share with everyone.
Did you hear about the wonderful stuff this weekend that kind of didn't go over very well, by the way, from QL losers? Yeah, they were talking about essentially karma and, bad people having things happen to them. They said they were talking about George. I watched it in George is so dumb. She said that bad people get bad things that happen to them. This is from the past. That I guess she forgot that she supposedly has the Bible in her breast cancer. Yeah, that didn't go over very well. Just to say the least. So apparently now everyone else but QL seemed to catch that. Wait, maybe this isn't going over well at all. But she doubled down on it. She doubled down. That's karma. That's essentially karma. I was like, your audience out there, your audience goes for anything, and so does their fans. So when you say that bad people end up in terrible situations, well, they don't appreciate that. They don't appreciate not just themselves, but people like them.
Not to mention that we all know it just isn't true. It just isn't true because we see bad people
those of you who believe Bible does say that the rain shall fall just and
Man, you talk about not reading the odds. Yeah. Good. Also, they go in really trading and the weather conditions sort of dominating. I think
so
so.
this week or something this weekend.
Oh man, this right
Not get enough.
Travis just made a part. I don't think that is named, you know, but to the mother dog to like the most reason I know things like when it cracks me up it actually seems like the kid with the dog he was yeah. That's what you would consider that's right. I don't Are they saying that's what these people would do? Because, you know, okay. I've never read that. They answered my email why they started. He never is, he never is so I have to still blame. Why? But she offered it. He obviously did, in fact, opening email. Why did you go back? So he said, well, I took away.
Dangerous weather approaching. Seek shelter.
thought of rolling but then it's come up, you know, he's like, hey, I'll stick with it for a while. And then when they find allegedly to the limbs. Like I said, he will not go after the people who stole from him. But man, I mean, it tells you where your priorities lie. And the priorities, interestingly, that money was for right. So I would think that you're blocked out. That's the problem. Maybe that.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
It's funny. I got you hear me every night. Hey David, be careful of that fake working news. Here's my name. David, if you guys know, somebody out here that's scoping out the news, look, you might get on first. I'm warning you. In my neighborhood, a lot of old people. We have a few older people that are, yeah, I mean, it's talking about areas, states where, like foreigners like him don't understand the idea that my neighbor is a master. We probably have more fugitives than squad campers. So don't make those people